For me, the meaning of consistency is trust. When we were starting, we did not think that we have the capacity to grow to that much. And so as we were setting up our first branch, we limited our capacity as well. Actually, the biggest predicament in any entrepreneurship is fear and thinking that you can begin big. If it's about failure, I have failed big time. But before you arrive, I mean, it's a journey. And for me, it was a very, very tough journey to reach where I am. My name is Rahab, the CEO of Ultismart Interiors Limited. Ultismart is a brand that deals with distribution of home finishes, starting with tiles, toilets, ceilings, doors, gypsums, and the like. Basically everything that you require so that you can be able to finish your house once you're done with the structure. Karibuni sana.
Just before we move into the details, what is the inspiration behind beginning your very, very new branch in Nanyuki?
We're excited to have a new branch in Nanyuki. First of all, as an entrepreneur, we are always hungry for growth. We never settle for anything. And so in our quest to want to grow this brand and to want to give people the experience of what Ultismart has to offer, we did our own survey, and amongst our region, we felt Nanyuki is what would have been appropriate for us. And so 1 year ago, we started working on the dream, and 7 days ago, we realized that dream. So we are glad to have our new branch, Ultismart Nanyuki, one of its kind in that town, very spacious, very modern, and we're welcoming everybody to Nanyuki to come and have an experience of Ultismart showrooms.
What goes into maybe also starting a new branch? Is it that maybe other than maybe just having the ambition and maybe the desire also to grow in terms of readiness, what did it cost you?
First of all, expansion is not normally easy and it's not normally cheap. Number one, you have to have your survey right. You have to know, because ultimately we are looking for returns of investment. And so for us, we felt Nanyuki is among the fastest growing towns in Kenya, actually. And so that's why we felt we should go there. But besides that, you need a lot of passion to be able to realize that dream. You need a lot of energy. It takes a lot of work for you to be able to work within those timelines to come up with what you're looking for. And of course, it requires a lot of financing for you to be able to set up one. So we have gone through that hurdle, and so far we have experienced the hand of God, and we can say that now the branch is open and is stocked. So anybody now can walk in and walk out with their products.
Wow, amazing. And Rahab, of course, being the fourth branch, you had your lessons with your very, very first branch that is in Naivasha, Gilgil, Nyahururu. So what were some of the maybe lessons that you picked even as you are going to Nanyuki?
There are many lessons. First of all, when we were starting, we did not think that we have the capacity to grow to that much. And so as we were setting up our first branch, we limited our capacity as well. But now we have learned. One of the biggest lessons we have learned is people require a serious shopping experience. And that means that the space that you need to set up for them to be able, so that you can be able to display everything that you want to give, requires a very big space. And that is one of our biggest challenges in our first branch. And we have gone expanding that space as we continue growing. Nanyuki has a square area of about 800 square meters. And and I'm only talking about the showroom, I'm not talking about the warehouse. And so we are giving people space so that you can be able to accommodate as many people as possible within the showroom. The second thing that we have learned over the time is the importance of having qualified staff. Because when we were starting again, we could not afford the skills that we require. But we have come to, as we have continued to grow, to appreciate the skills that are demanded in this industry. And so now, as we secure the people to come and work with us, we are getting the very best. We are also taking a lot of time to train them so that they can be able to get our culture now, because we have already understood what is required in this industry. And so that's another second lesson that we have learned. The third lesson is how to appreciate the brands that you grow with. We are dealers and distributors of very many top-notch companies here in Kenya, and now we have understood how to handle them and the relationship that we have with them, so they can continue trusting in us. And I want to say that I have experienced support that I would never have imagined I would get from the Nanyuki branch, because these brands also are looking into you affecting their market and feeling that they can trust you to move their products. And so now our relationship with our dealers and our the brands that we are marketing is much better. Also with the banks, there are some mistakes that we did when we were starting, but now we have understood how to manage our cash flows and how to develop a strong relationship with them so that they can be able to buy into our vision and our dream and be able to help us to realize these dreams. So there are many lessons that you learn every day.
Looking at this expansion in relation to the aspect of consistency, because you still want to maintain the Ultismart Interiors Limited brand. How has it been for you, and maybe what can you encourage somebody in terms of maintaining that consistency?
I always say consistency is a very important aspect that people sometimes take for granted. For me, the meaning of consistency is trust. That what you see in me today is what you will see in me tomorrow, and that Rahab is the same. And that is what is required for any brand to grow. That if you walk into our Naivasha branch, the experience that you get there should be the same experience you get at Gilgil branch, at Nyahururu branch, and finally the Nanyuki branch. And so every now and then, we make sure, number one, consistency in prices, consistency in product quality, consistency in variety of what you're offering, and even in your workers. So I don't believe that somebody would come all the way from Nyahururu to buy from Naivasha because of a relationship with the staff. The staff must be consistent. But and I'm so proud, because I've gotten those results and reports that I don't have to come to Naivasha because I'm served the same way in Nyahururu. And that is the consistency that people look for, so that they can gain that trust. And once people get to understand you and know how you deal with, of course, there's nobody who is perfect. There are always flaws here and there, but you try as much as possible to gain that trust, which is what you're calling consistency.
What are some of those things that you really believe have been the driving force, and also in terms of of course, we've talked about the passion, but also in terms of maybe how you've continued also to understand this industry?
Number one, you have to be very alert, because the construction industry evolves very fast. If you just stay in your own cocoon, you'll be overtaken by events. The construction industry, especially the finishing, is very dynamic. Every once in a while, you'll always see a new product that is coming to overtake the previous one. And so we have to be very alert to know the market trends. And that is what we strived for as Ultismart. Number two, you have to make sure that you have presence in the market. And that's what is making us expand. So that you're not just limited to one place. If someone has a project here and wherever, you still can be able to serve them because you're represented in many different regions. But besides that, you need a very strong support system. And the biggest stakeholders that every entrepreneur has is the staff that you work with. These are the people who have a face-and-face connection with your customers. And so that staff must be a representation or a mirror image of yourself. And so you have to invest in your staff to make sure that they realize your dream. And besides that, of course, there's the authority that you need to the authorities, the Kenya Revenue Authority, the county governments, NEMA, Occupational Health, Directorate of Occupational Health and Safety, all those people, you must know how to work with them so that your business can also be sustainable, because they can actually take part in bringing you down if you're not compliant. And one of the things that has also helped me maintain and be able to deal with the government authorities, which has not been easy, of course, is we have a board that has expertise in all those areas. And so whenever we have an issue that needs to be addressed, we have always an expertise who can be able to engage on such matters and make sure that we remain afloat when it comes to compliance.
There is one area that I've really picked even as we continue with this conversation, the importance and the place of your staff, and maybe even for any other organization, any other enterprise that I believe would be watching this particular program. So for you, what do you think is really the contribution of any staff in any organization in really helping that organization to do well, or to actually be able to thrive?
The biggest contribution that the workers do, number one, is they have to buy your vision and your mission. And this generation that we are working with, because generally I'm working with the Gen Zs, they're very knowledgeable, and they also know their rights a lot. They will hold you accountable to what you say and what you promise, but they are also very strong. And once they buy into your vision and you learn how to deal with them, I think they can take you to great heights. Listen to them, reason with them. They are, these are the information agents. If you ask me about social media, I might not tell you many things, but for them, they are able to create you and build you and grow with you. They are very active on all platforms of the social media. But number two, they also want to grow. And so in my organization, I always give my staff priority for promotion whenever there is an opportunity, and also recognize their abilities by motivating them and paying them well. Don't just be the one growing as an entrepreneur, grow with them so that you all can share in the fruit of that tree, because they have contributed a lot. And I always say all workers are very important. It doesn't matter whether you're the manager or you are the least with the security guard, because the way God created, for example, our body, there's no way a finger can feel like it is inferior and the eye is more superior because it can show all of them. Anybody who has no finger is still maimed. Anyone who has no eye is still, we call them physically challenged. So if you want to grow, everybody must be on board, irrespective of their level. Bring them on board and ensure that there is absolute teamwork and respect amongst the staff. Wow. So give them a good working atmosphere, so that you're not just walking around and shouting, and work with them and reason with them. Yeah, a calm, a peaceful atmosphere makes people perform. Yeah.
And I know you have this particular experience. So for you, how do you maybe describe this particular client who comes, they want this particular product, they want this particular service? How is it that you've understood? And maybe what is it that maybe you can tell those people who are now in the entrepreneurship industry in terms of how maybe to relate with them?
I always say as Ultismart, we are consultants. We are sorting a need. So when that person is walking into the shop, when any client is walking into a shop, they have a need, and that need must be met in Ultismart. And having had the experience of doing it myself, because when the organization was very small, I was one who was the face. I know the dynamics of this industry. I know the dynamics of the various categories of people when they are coming to do the purchases. And so we take a lot of effort in conducting in-house trainings and also outdoor trainings, so that we can be one when we are dealing with a product with our clients whenever they walk in.